a show that didn't need to exist. That's all that's all I'm saying. It doesn't need to exist at all. But HBO was like, yep, let's do this. Out of all the shows, out of all the projects they could have brought back, Batgirl, Scoob, Holiday Haunt, Batman, The Cape Crusader Strikes Back. I think that's what it's called. Where it's like a continuation of Batman the animated series. Out of all those projects that they had to bring back, Velma had to be the one. Honestly, I would watch any of those shows than Velma. But guess what? I watched Velma, so now I must carry with the burden of reviewing this show. And I have to review it because I watched it. So before I start to review, this show's pointless. Don't watch it. It for me, it's a 1 out of 10. Like the only reason it's good is because the animation is good and stuff. That's the only reason why I like that's the only reason why I think the show is worth watching. The animation is good. But other than that, no. Don't watch it. Instead of being an adult show that could go into adult topics, like death. You can't say death in a show, but you can in an adult show. You can you can go over with miscarriage. Like I mean, I know Bluey did it, but in a more concrete way. They could explore adult themes, in an adult show. Ha! No, because that'll take effort. Throw in some cuss words, some nudity, some race-based jokes. Ha ha ha! Isn't that funny? Because that's exactly what I would like to see in an adult show. Honestly, why is it when it's marketed as an adult show, it's more childish than a child show? Why is it more childish than a kid show? On, I don't think anyone's trying. Anyways, back to horrible. Anyways, back to not good show. Velma in this show is annoying. All she ever does is complain and make race-based jokes. She's full of bitterness. Nothing like there is nothing redeeming of her character. Every single time every single time she says something, I know what she's going to say. She's going to say something offensive. She's going to say something meta. She's going to say something race-based. Oh, and speaking of race swapping, they made Velma Indian in this show because the Mindy Kaling or Kaling, whatever the hell we pronounce her name, she says that the Velma didn't have anything wrong with being white. Nobody had the character wasn't flawed, and people were fine with it even though she was white. So they were like, hey, let's make her Indian in this show. And why did they have to go to the effort of making her Indian if it didn't impact her character in any way and everybody was fine with it? Well, they could make her Indian. We could make her explore her culture. Since her parents are gonna be Indian, we can go into their traditions. I heard being a Muslim is very famous in Indian tradition. So maybe we could explore onto her that. Ha! No, like I said before, it takes effort, which this show doesn't clearly want to do. Oh, and the jokes in this show, if I could even call them jokes, none of them made me laugh. Not even chuckle, not even think, oh wow, that was a good attempt at a joke, not even once. This show is not funny. Good lord, is it not funny? And like I said with the race swap, nothing benefits from it. If you want to race swap a character, at least make it beneficial. If Velma was Indian, make her have Indian traditions. Make her original character change now that she's Indian. Make her character different. Since it's race swap, explore different traditions, different cultures. Don't just make her Indian and make her have the ability to say race-based jokes of a race that isn't her own. And that's what I don't like. They make it race swap, saying there's nothing bad with the character, even though she's white originally, and she makes race-based jokes. Oh no, wasted. The only jokes Velma ever does are race-based in this show. Only because she's Indian, she has the pass to say a race-based joke a racist joke. No, 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 no. That is a bad waste of a character right there. I hate it so bad. And nobody in the show is good. Like I said, Velma, all she does is say meta jokes and race-based jokes that are not funny. Fred is your typical rich white boy that acts like a man child. Daphne is a stuck up. Velma is a stuck up. Velma is a stuck up, and I hate it so bad. And Norville, which I know is supposed to be Shaggy, he's okay. I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't. I mean, the only reason why he's the only good character in this show, because at least he doesn't make any race-based or meta jokes any single time in this show. Also, he's anti-drug in this, so we can make a. So we might be getting a Shag origin. Also, if you're wondering why didn't they just call him Shaggy, or why isn't Scooby in the show? Scooby doing the show is because Warner Brothers, they're losing money and they don't want to use copyrighted names, so they don't have to spend more money. You know. Also, because they already lost contracts to Looney Tunes. And let's go with the humor, if I even call it humor. Like I said like a billion times before, the only jokes in this are race-based jokes and meta jokes. Was 90% of them are made by Velma. And all she ever does in this show, like I said, complains, makes race-based jokes. And I don't even know why you had to race swap her, man. And the meta jokes. Oh, I'm so tired of meta jokes. I mean, they were fine when I first heard them, but like in Rick and Morty, I got so tired of it because it seemed like the only thing carrying the show. Like the only jokes they made in Rick and Morty were like meta jokes, and it kind of made me annoyed. So thank God that this show has meta jokes, which I wasn't tired of. Literally, the first joke in this show is about how like the pilot has more sex and nudity than the rest of the series. Oh boy, that sure did make me laugh. That uncomfortable scene. Also, they're in high school. They're like 15 in this show, so watching those first 2 minutes made me uncomfortable. Ah, no. Oh, no. I think I figured out why they made her Indian. Because those who say that they watch the show and say it's horrible, the only thing the studios and show creators will defend themselves from is that the reviewers of this show are quote unquote racist. Disney has done it with the Little Mermaid live action sequel where they're like, everybody, we know you're all worried about the new Little Mermaid live action remake, but just because there's a just because there's not a white Ariel anymore doesn't mean you should complain that it's going to be bad. Like, what is it called? I don't know what it's called. They're using Velma as a race shield. So whenever someone says negative about the show, they'll just use Velma's race as an example to that the people watching the show and saying it's bad, they're racist. How did I say they made Velma Indian in the show. There's nothing bad with it, but people saying that the show is bad, which is fact. It's not opinions. The show really is bad. Since Velma is Indian in the show, and everybody's gonna say it's bad, HBO will just use her as a race shield and call out on anyone that hates the show being racist because Velma is Indian. Oh, it makes sense now. No. Anyways, Velma sucks. Don't watch it. It's not worth your HBO Max subscription. Save that money for later. Or if you have HBO Max and don't want to watch Velma, I consider Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. That show is better. Velma's not much of a prick as she is in the new show, but give it a try. Also, HBO Max. You canceled the Velma show and brought it back. So bring back actually something good next time. Next time, bring back Batman Cape Crusader, Scoob Holiday Hunt, or the Batgirl movie. Bring any of those back, but as long as it isn't something as lazy, bad, horrible, and good and ungodly funny as Velma, don't make that mistake again. Anyways, Velma's a 1 out of 10. Don't watch it. They literally do nothing to benefit the character. It's not funny. The first quote unquote joke they insert in this show is two cockroaches having sexual intercourse, and I hate it so much. If you want to see something good, Scoob related on HBO Max that's good, watch Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. It's better than this crap pile of a show. Have a good day. My day is ruined. I did this for y'all.